This appears to be a motion for installment payments made by the Walshes. So who would like, from the Walshes, who would like to tell me what it is that you're requesting and why?
I requested $150 a month to pay back what we owe.
And why do you believe that that would be appropriate?
I bring home $1,300 every 2 weeks. Once you get rent out of that, and groceries and electric, gas. Gas for the vehicle. I've got an outgoing payment to the IRS every month, $61.
I read the numbers that you used in your motion, which said that your average income is 3,104 each
Okay,
month.
I'm sorry. I apologize. That's with Joe's Social Security.
All right, and then I added up all of the monthly payments that you said that you had, which would include the rent, utilities, child support, phone, cable, and internet bill, Capital One, Sparrow Hospital, auto and renters insurance, prescriptions, IRS, and waste management, and it came to a little over $2,200. So there's almost $900 still left over from that. Why should your payment be limited to $150 then?
Still got groceries out of that. Gas for the vehicle.
What happened to the $10,000 that you should have saved when you weren't paying rent for the number of months that you weren't paying rent for?
I was the only income during that time. That's why we got behind. He was off of work for a year before Social Security would give him his disability.
You're asking for almost 5.5 years to pay off your rent debt. $10,000 at $150 a month is going to take you 66.6 months to pay off. I don't find that to be reasonable.
What do you think is fair?
I'm not going to negotiate against you. This is your motion. I just told you $150 a month is not. Mr. Serino, do you have an answer?
Well, I did talk with my client, Your Honor, and can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I did talk with my client to make sure she was in agreement, and she would like $400 a month. We're both, my client and myself, well, I'm 78 and she's older than me, but we don't have a lot of time left, Your Honor, and to put it at 150 is not, one, appropriate, and two, it's discouraging, it's disappointing. Yeah, she wants $400 a month. It's a very large bill, Your Honor. As Your Honor stated, it's going to take 66 months to pay it off at their rate, and we don't. Neither one of us want to be waiting that long for payments.
Ms. Walsh?
I don't even know what. To get the place we're looking for, we're looking at paying almost $1,000 in rent.
And it's in Elmira.
In Elmira. Or $250.
Can I ask why you guys haven't contacted each other and talked about this to begin with? Why are we wasting the court's time negotiating?
I have no idea.
I don't either. That's why I asked the question. I mean, if you want something, you should be on the phone talking to Mr. Serino just about every day, saying this is what I can pay. This is why I can't pay 400. You got $500 down listed as rent in your request telling me what your bills are. You say you can get an apartment or get a place for $1,000. You still got 900 left over. That leaves you $500 or $400 to do whatever you need to do. Maybe you need to get a second job. I don't know. I'm not the one who made the decisions about not paying rent for however much time it was to rack up a $10,000 bill. But you had the opportunity. He gave you the time then. I don't know that he should have to give you more time now. I find that you've got the ability to make another $400 payment. You can either agree to $400 or you can allow Mr. Serino to garnish your wages at whatever he can get it for.
$100
Which do
is
you want?
fine, sir.
I'm taking over the talking. You got her crying. Thanks a lot. $400 is fine. You get your money. You support the slumlord. Thanks a lot, sir. $400
Walsh?
is just fine.
Then that's
I'm
what it'll be.
taking over
Thank
the
you very much,
conversation.
sir.
She
We're
is
done.
crying.
Shut him,
She
please.
is crying.
We're done. This is the motion of Monson for summary disposition, I believe. Have you received a copy of their motion for summary disposition?
I did. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Counsel, you want to argue your motion, please?
Sure. Plaintiff, this case stems from an underlying district court medical bill claim where Monson Healthcare filed this contract action against defendant James Gerard. In response to the complaint, Mr. Gerard filed a counterclaim alleging medical malpractice. Mr. Gerard did not follow the statutory requirements in order to file a medical malpractice claim. Namely, he failed to file a notice of intent 182 days prior to the filing of the cross complaint in violation of MCL 600.2912B1. He also did not wait 182 days before filing the counterclaim. Additionally, he failed to file an affidavit of merit signed by an expert in violation of MCL 600.2912D1. Based on those two actions, the court, we are requesting that this court grant summary disposition and dismiss the countercomplaint in its entirety against Monson. Additionally, I did not receive any sort of response or any communication from Mr. Gerard regarding our motion for summary disposition.
Mr. Gerard, I believe that I've received from you, it's not signed or it doesn't have anybody's name on it. There's a one-page document that says
Yes, Your
entitled
Honor.
Your Honor. It talks about lost wages, medical copays, time spent
But-
handling these matters. Is that from you?
That is for me, Your Honor, but in one thing to rebuke against what was just said,
hang
I
on,
did
hang
not
on,
file
hang on just a sec.
malpractice. That's wrong.
Hang on just a second.
Yes, sir.
I need to find out if everybody's got what they're supposed to get first before I hear the
Yes,
arguments.
sir.
That's why I asked her or asked you whether you'd received her motion so I could know whether she could argue it. Counsel, have you received this one-page document from Mr. Gerard that I referenced?
I have not.
Mr. Gerard, did you send that to counsel?
I did not.
Why not?
I was supposed to get a lawyer and I'm unable to get a lawyer. And I mean,
So how is it fair for you to
It's
send
not
stuff
fair,
to
Your Honor.
me? All right, then I can't consider
It's
what
not.
you sent to me today.
right.
Do you
I
have
thought
any-
that during the Zoom meetings that the documents, that's my fault. So
That's all right. I'm going to give you
I've
an
never done
opportunity
this.
to respond to what they said, but I just can't consider what you sent me in writing because you didn't send it to the other side. So
I understand.
what would you like to tell me about what she argued as to your medical malpractice claim and the counterclaim that you've made?
Well, the plaintiff's saying that I filed malpractice as a rebuttal, but I didn't. It's negligence, which is different than malpractice, because malpractice is a specific form of professional negligence and that's not what this is. Malpractice is a subset of negligence requiring expert testimony, but not the same thing as neglect. Negligence it doesn't fall under malpractice. It doesn't conform to the same guidelines of the 180 days. It is fully within my right to be able to file a counterclaim of negligence, not malpractice. And that if they want to look it up, they can look it up, as I've done. But the whole point of this is I don't want to go any farther than today. I just wanted to defend myself and state that it was negligence. They sent me on my way. And then I had a lung infection. This lasted for over 2 weeks. I had to go to a different hospital. And this is just not the first time with Monson, even though that's irrelevant to this.
The legal brief that the attorney from Monson filed has a definition of what is the difference between ordinary negligence and medical malpractice. They've cited the appropriate Supreme Court case for that. That inquiry is twofold. Number one, whether the claim pertains to an action that occurred within the course of a professional relationship. Do you agree or disagree that this was done, this apparent, what you claim to be negligence, was done during a patient-doctor professional relationship?
The only reason I would say I disagree is because I went into the office laying down in their office or in the waiting room with a fever. And then they did what they did. I told them it was an onset. So I can't say I agree or disagree with it.
Where did you go for services?
I went to the emergency room, which I've gone to emergency room one other time in my life. And I'm 57
What
years old.
happened?
So
Did your parents get a bill for that? Did the hospital send out a bill for those services?
no. No,
So you're telling me that the hospital's supposed to provide you with free services and there's no professional relationship when you present yourself at a hospital?
No, I didn't. That's not what I was suggesting.
So
But
what are you saying?
I was suggesting if I go in with a broken leg and they don't take an x-ray and tell me I have a sprain, that's exactly what this was.
Sir. We're going to get to that in just a minute. Okay. The first question is the first question, not the second question. The first question is whether the claim pertains to or occurred within the course of a professional relationship. Did you go to the doctor, get treated by a doctor?
Yes, sir. I went to the emergency room.
All right. Then it meets that first test. So the second question is this: whether the claim raises questions of medical judgment beyond the realm of common knowledge and experience. Why is this just negligence and not medical negligence?
I guess that would be up to a professional, but in my opinion, it is because I was there. They tested me for COVID. They took my temperature. They asked me if I had anything else going on in my life. I said I had a nasal thing 6 months before that. And they sent me on my way with a fever with no follow-up, no go see a doctor, nothing like that. It was just basically go home, take Tylenol, and here's something for your nasal. And then 2 days later, I can't breathe. And 2 days after that, because I'm thinking I'm doing what they told me to do, which is just go home and your fever will break, and it didn't. So on the fourth day I went in, I had a lung infection, which caused the fever in the first place. And then I was out of work again for another, 6 days after that, which I'm not really concerned about all that as much as I am just who's held accountable for what, I suppose, at this point.
All right. So how is that not medical negligence? They failed to do the appropriate standard of medical care is what you're alleging.
I am. Yes, Your Honor. That sounds correct.
Then that is in fact a medical malpractice issue.
Okay.
Ordinary negligence would be non-medical failure to do care. This is medical failure to do appropriate level of care. So that would be a medical malpractice issue. So I'm going to grant the motion for summary disposition as to the medical malpractice and take out your counterclaim.
Fair.
Thank you, Your Honor. Shall I submit an order to the court?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
If you wish, Mr. Gerard, and again, I can't give you legal advice, this doesn't prevent you from pursuing medical malpractice, but I just can't do it here. And I can't do it
Right.
under this case. So any other questions that you have, sir?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, that's all for today then. Thank you very much.
Your
Thank
Honor,
you.
Yes,
I was also the plaintiff's attorney on that suit. I just wanted to make sure I was heard on this matter.
go ahead. Anything else that you wanted to add to that?
No, I didn't actually hear anything that was heard said.
I apologize. I thought Ms. Garver was representing everybody for OMH on that. But
Okay.
basically what we did was we granted the hospital's motion for summary disposition on the medical
Okay.
malpractice claim. And I believe that that resolves the entire matter.
I'm not sure if it resolves the underlying matter, Your
Oh,
Honor.
that's right. So this is originally bought by OMH for its services. So, all right.
Correct. Yep.
All right. I don't have any motion for summary disposition as to the underlying claim for services rendered. Counsel, how long, Ms. Coddington, how long are you going to need to have that filed?
I can have that filed within 30 days.
All right, my March calendar is full as of now. The next time that I would have available for this would be April the 13th. Would you be able to have any conflict with that?
No, I would not, Your Honor. What time will that be?
That would be 1:30. Mr. Gerard, do you have any conflicts with April 13th at 1:30?
No, Your Honor.
All right. We'll set this for a second motion for summary disposition, April 13th at 1:30. Ms. Coddington will file the motion for summary disposition, send a copy of it to you. You can answer that or respond to that. If you're going to answer in writing or send documents in as to that, you need to do so with copies to both sides, and then what's called a proof of service saying, I mailed a copy of this to the court and to opposing counsel on this date at this time, and then sign that so I know exactly who got copies of that. Okay, Mr. Gerard?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, that's all for today then. Thank you, Ms. Coddington. I appreciate you letting me know.
Will the hearing be on Zoom or in person?
That'll be in Zoom.
Okay.
One more time on the date, Your Honor, just real quick, the time I got.
April
but
13th, April
13th. All right.
13th at 1:30.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, thank you.